Yo, thank you for coming back to another Hamza Khan show video. Um, I'm just gonna get right into it because wow. Triple A is the best show in wrestling. El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano. This year, past couple of years, best story in wrestling. That main event, when I saw that it's gonna be about an hour long and they're gonna give it time to breathe, I knew we were in for like something super special. From the beginning of the show, how they presented the two individuals, the two El Grande Americanos, the original and the real, and then once they got to that middle of the show, it was serious. The promos, the movie clips that they put up, the promo clips that they put on at the beginning, that leading into Rey Mysterio coming out, which just signified the kind of this is a big match and a big match feel. The music from that big match feel music at the beginning, you know it's serious, and even the entrances between the both the Americanos, how you saw them, you go to their locker room, they come out of the locker room, they walk towards the ring, the crowd is bubbling, the serenade before they even got out and the an entrance music came out. It was amazing. It gave you goosebumps. The how the crowd reacted to the original Grande Americana, then that being completely opposite to how they um, treated the real Americano, the one that has taken aboard the style of AAA, the Mexican people, the he's kind of taken it all in, and so have the fans um, of AAA. You saw that as well throughout the show when they were showing the people watching the show getting ready for that main event. They've got the El Grande Americano masks on. They're hyped up. They're singing along. They're so ready for that match. And I can all I can say is in comparison to the WrestleMania 40 match with Cody Rhodes, that's how amazing it was. And it was so simple as well. They didn't complicate it. It wasn't a complicated match. It wasn't a complicated story either. We knew who the bad guy was. We knew who the good guy was. The good guy had to overcome so much. The bad guy made the life of the good guy so uncomfortable. With the how much El Grande Americano, the real one, um, went through. Obviously, you started off with the Pippi guy getting attacked by El Grande Americano, him losing the his spot in the Rey de Reyes tournament. That as well. You had the when he attacked El Grande Americano's tag team partner that takes on him when he the original Americano was a villain. In AAA, this guy did the craziest stuff that you would never expect to see on a Monday Night Raw, on a SmackDown. Um, the fact that he put a blind comedian in the ankle lock is crazy. That's just like that. You don't even think about that. Even with the stuff afterwards, with the girly Americano's um, girlfriend getting her fired, and then coming out with a shirt with her face on it, just to kind of do those mind games with the uh, real Americano compared to the OG just being a villain is was really well done. I have zero. All I have is just love for that match. It might be one of my favorite matches of all time. If I'm putting it up there with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns WrestleMania 40, AJ Styles versus John Cena Crown Jewel match. Those are two big matches, and I'm putting this match up there with them. This story, it just signifies how well done it was. Throughout the match, the bad guy was doing bad guy stuff. OG had control of the match from the beginning when he hit El Grande Americano with um, the guitar. I liked how he just poofed the guitar. That was a really really good kind of point to it, and just throughout the match, the fact that he went for the mask in the middle of the match, especially with knowing how much they've built it so far and how important the mask is to Lucha Libre. The fact that you could kind of half see El Grande Americano's face and that just being signified, that was just dangerous, and he looked really really good. The OG throughout the match, his physique, both physiques of the two competitors was A tier. You want to see that from the match of your life, and they definitely put that out there. The blood was necessary throughout the match, especially with the real Americano getting blooded out by the OG at his eye. JBL pointing out that that's going to affect his balance, is going to affect his eyesight. It's a big no blow, and you see that later on where El Grande Americano is throwing those haymakers as if he can't see, but he's just throwing and throwing and throwing as much as he can, and it just adds a level of story. It just deepens the story, I would say. What you want in a story is for you to read more, to gain more. You want to know more about the story. Everything needs to matter. Things that need to be, if things are brought up, they should be brought up later on as well. It shouldn't just be a thing that you kind of hide away, or in sometimes in wrestling where you just say, it is what it is. Not in this match at all. I thought the interferences between the people were immaculate. The Creed brothers getting involved, and then Los Americano. Los Americano and the Creed brothers getting involved. That was top tier as well. It made sense in the match, especially with El Grande Americano hitting that chair shot. You think this is over, and it was not over. And here comes the Creed brothers to make the save. They go through the table. You think it's over. You've got that leaping headbutt from the top rope, and somehow, someway, the good guy, El Grande Americano, kicks out, and you're just in awe in how great that match is. Just thinking about it just gives me goosebumps, and it left me speechless. If I'm being honest with you, you had Los Americanos come out to kind of equalize, and then something that I think is important, especially in wrestling, is obviously, as I said before, is just everything being brought up. You had the conflict the of OG doing things to El Grande Americano, as I mentioned before. Pippi, you had the blind comedian, you had the his girlfriend as well. Um, all kind of points that built up and built up for the original for the real Americano, but the OG didn't understand that there is consequences for what you did, and those consequences happened in the match with the PB guy hitting OG with the guitar. You had the blind comedian hit the OG as well with the cane. You saw uh, the real Americano's girlfriend come out, Andrea. She was out there, and I think the commentary team did a really good job of explaining why she was there. She had the ticket. She was there as motivation, that kind of belief for the um, real Americano. We get that back in the ring. You can see the real Americano kind of build up an offense, and it's coming to down to that kind of last year, the moment where El Grande Americano's leg goes out and you feel like he's got the momentum and it's something that you forget about, but it's brought up again. And he sold that throughout the end, all the way to the end of the show, which was really a good, massive thing, I would say. And you had, there was that moment where El Grande Americano's got the OG, the kind of like crab kind of um, submission. I really thought it was going to be an end there. It wasn't. OG got the counter. We're in the uh, ankle lock. Somehow, some way, OG, Real Americano is able to get the momentum and finally get the pin. There was so many good near falls. There was no forced near falls. There was a lot of really good near falls that were made sense, but made both characters and both competitors look really strong, I would say. And then, of course, the real Americano won, and we saw the OG unmask. Surprise, surprise! The OG Americano is Chad Gable. Who would have thought it? Um, I thought that speech at the end was very emotional. It was, this story was so good that everybody understood the roles. The fans understood their role. The competitors in the match understood their role. The commentary team understood their roles. The bookers understood their roles. And when you have a story like that where there's a beginning, there's a middle, and now there's an end of this story, going out in a way as they did, where Chad Gable was able to address the fans once he had taken the mask off, showed his love, showed his respect, because he's such a amazing. It wouldn't be, this story wouldn't be as good as it has been if someone else was under that mask, and that just shows the level of Chad Gable. Hopefully, going forward, and I think it's been a desire of lots of wrestling fans for a while, but big Chad Gable push needs to be on the cards, needs to be in there getting involved, in my opinion. And the emotion, the fact that his family was in the ring with him, you saw the real Americano with his quote of his family on that side, and Chad Gable's family, and Chad Gable said his piece. He handed the mask to Ludwig Kaiser or El Grande Americano, and it was kind of a done deal there. And we now have one El Grande Americano, and the fans, that was a loud pop. The fact that El Grande Americano won, I knew that he was going to win. I think a lot of fans expected him to win. You always have it in your mind, maybe somehow they mess it up. Ooh. Sorry about that. You think sometimes maybe they're gonna mess it up, but they didn't. Undertaker, round of applause for him. Amazing job. What I loved was at the end of the show, you had the music going on in the background. You saw the confetti coming down, which I think is something that they do often in Lucha Libre, and the visual of El Grande Americano at the top of the ramp with the mask, doing the pose like this. You got the flares coming up. You can't say there isn't anything better than that. And honestly, I'm so hyped coming off that match. That was top tier, no complaints from myself. And I thought this video, I'm just gonna be talking about this match because it deserves the reverence that it needs to get, and it's a match I'm gonna rewatch again and again and again. I feel like that's something that a lot of people are gonna do as well. Overall, apart from that, the show was amazing. One of the best shows I've seen in a long time, and it's began amazing and it ended amazing, and there's no complaints from myself with that match. I really enjoyed it. Um, that match, that show, everything AAA. Saying it for the last couple of weeks, months or so. AAA is the best show in wrestling, and each and every week it builds upon that, and you enjoy it even more, in my opinion. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if it was good, leave a dislike if it was bad, and peace.